Hello there, thanks a lot for coming by PosterCentral.com's video blog today. I'm Pete Howard. And I know, Carl Perkins, monster headliner here, very important in the birth of rock. And I know that Warren Smith, second build, is a very important rockabilly artist. But this is a Roy Orbison and the Teen Kings video blog. Partly because I've already blogged Carl Perkins and posters just like this, 1956-57 concert posters, and I've done my Warren Smith dues when he was opening for Jerry Lee Lewis on that set of concert posters on my video blog. So, this three I'm going to show you right now are three entirely different posters, and this one with these three, I should say, with a young Roy Orbison and the Teen Kings on the bill. Boy, I'll tell you. Now, if you're any kind of a collector, surely you must be wondering, where did all these things come from, especially if you've seen the other blogs. Finding one of these, a rock and roll founding father 1950s concert poster, that's hard enough, but what about all these different specimens? And they're also very plain and simple, aren't they? So they must be, phonies or repros or something, but nope, I can absolutely assure you, right around their original and genuine, printed before the shows, right around the turn of the century, right around 2000, it was interesting, an enormous stash of original Hatch show print concert posters came up for sale, mostly from the 50s, but also the 60s, which a former Hatch employee had taken them in lieu of payment from the company. They gave him the posters instead. So, there's just a huge stash of posters, all different genres, including circus posters and everything, but generally there was only one of each. And so they were soon being scattered far and wide to collectors all over the globe, and I'm just fortunate enough to be able to have gained access to some of these for my video blog. Okay, so reality check out of the way, or authenticity, that was my little letter of providence, I guess. Here we've got a high school gym in Ripley, Mississippi on Thursday, November 8th of 1956, and check out this fun wording. I should move my hands there for full effect. Look at this, the senior class presents. High school senior class, wow. Rock and Roll Revue, starring Carl Perkins, Mr. Blue Suede Shoes. And again, I've done a separate blog on Carl. And then you've got rockabilly cult hero Warren Smith on there with a key early song in the genre, Ubangi Stomp. And then bottom bill, da-da-da-da, there we have it, Roy Orbison and the sensational Teen Kings. So I like that. Sort of reminds me of early Beatle concert posters from about Liverpool. A lot of their advertising materials and posters would say the sensational Beatles, even though they couldn't get arrested commercially, but you're selling tickets and you're hyping your band, so that's what this says. So this was a Sun Records tour. All three artists were on the, Sun Records, so how cool is that? That's extremely special. Now, at this point in the fall, again November, fall of 1956, Roy had charted just one record, only Ooby Dooby, earlier this year, which peaked at only number 59, but it did sell a respectable 200,000 copies, giving his career somewhat forward momentum. But, not on the charts. That would be it for Roy until 1960. And the Teen Kings indeed split up. I think it might have been even later this year over, disputes over writing credits and royalties, as the story goes. So I've got three of these posters to show you within 1 week. And you know what that usually means? If you've seen my other blogs, that means everything's the same and just ding, 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 three different dates, right? Well, in a very odd quirk in typesetting and layout, which is not unusual for Hatch show print, all three are different. So we go from a high school gym in Mississippi on Thursday to the very next night, look at this, an electrician's hall in Kentucky on the Friday. Boy, and we go from a rock and roll review to a rock and roll dance party. And this is the only one of the three, by the way. With ticket prices, you can see $1.50 and $2 admission, $1.50 in advance. As for the billing, under Carl Perkins, voila, look at that. Orby and Smith have swapped places, even though the Teen Kings are no longer sensational. Very next night. And Warren Smith gets a different single plug. Look at that. His follow-up single on Sun Records to Ubangi Stomp was Rock and Roll Ruby. And here it is on this poster the next night. And he didn't chart anything, so it's not like one was a bigger hit or anything. With all these changes, this really smacks to me of Hatch Showprint in Nashville kind of just being on the telephone taking orders from each of the individual stops on the tour. And maybe some of the, the promoters would say, oh, I love this song, you got to put it on there, or, so-and-so's canceled, you got to take them off and everything. It's just they're so different and so close together. That's my theory. So now I'm going to jump to the third poster, the third and last one. We have to move ahead a whole 5 days, if you'll forgive that. Wednesday, November 14th at the Oxford Armory. And Oxford, Mississippi is a very good guess on that. And here's where you can really see that these came from files indeed of Hatch Showprint. You can see, besides them all being quarter folded, by the way, I don't know if you can make that out, but these were all quarter folded and put in a file cabinet. So groan if you like, but heavens, at least they got saved. That's such our victory today. But as you can see, that somebody took an ink pen, probably at Hatch, and they crossed off show and wrote in party by hand. I don't know if you can quite make that out. And they also, so what they did was turned rock and roll show and dance into rock and roll dance party. And they even crossed off in person, and they wanted to have starring on there instead. Boy, that's pretty minutiae if you ask me. And Warren Smith is off the bill. Ta-da! That allows lots of room for, ta-da, Roy Orbison to be in big, tall letters. How fun is that? And look, we get a song title finally of the three. We get Ooby Dooby. It's on there. Yay! That's so great. And then below that, as you can see, 3-hour show and dance. Boy, can you imagine Carl Perkins and Roy Orbison together in the mid-50s like this? Oh my gosh, would you... Whew, stories for the grandchildren. So... great seminal rock and roll and rockabilly. Hope you enjoyed seeing these, and thanks a lot for stopping by. Bye-bye.